everybody, Pat Huntoon here from Technique Junkies, and today we're going to be using a Colorful Life Design 6x6 stencil, Cloud Edger stencil, which is a two-piece stencil, which looks like this. And we're just going to be using the inside of the stencil today, but you want to hold on to this outside because it's good for other things. So we're going to be using the inside of a stencil. And I start my camouflage with this one is actually cut to size for a card, but this is green gray paper. It's gray paper with a little bit of a green tinge to it. I don't know how well the camera's catching that color, but that's what color it is. And what we're going to be doing is starting with, we're using 3 Distress Oxide colors. We're going to be using Fossilized Amber and Black Soot and Forest Moss. So I have a brush for each of them. I'm just going to move them a little bit out of the way if I'm not using them. And we're starting with the Fossilized Amber. So what we're going to do, now this is a lighter color on dark, and what I really like about using Distress Oxides is they really do hold up to color, and they layer so nicely, so the colors don't smudge and muddy up as you're using them. They're quite wonderful. So I'm starting with the Fossilized Amber because I want this to be my base. And because I'm using such a dark color of cardstock, I'm starting with a lighter color. Going from the edge of the stencil onto the cardstock. So I'm going to start with a corner there, okay? And then I'm going to turn this. And the next piece I don't want as a corner. I want it to be a longer piece. So I'm going to start from the edge of the stencil and push it out onto the paper. But this is going to be a closed off piece. So I'm kind of guesstimating how far I want that particular color of swipe to be. And you can see it's got a nice edge to it, nice crisp edge. So you don't have to use the same edge to close it off, but this time I'm going to. I'm just going to create a oblong piece here. Okay. I don't like how much I put down there, so I'm just going to even that out a little bit on the other side. And that's my next piece. And then I'm just going to add a few more pieces of yellowish color to this. Again, I'm going outward, upward into the thing, onto the paper, and then I'm turning it over, and I'm either using that same shape or another shape to close that particular color. You see what I'm doing there? Okay, let's do a couple more. And each time I'm turning the stencil just a tiny little bit. In some cases, I'm going to turn it over. On the times I turn it over, I'm taking a paper towel and I'm just wiping the edges off. So when I flip it over, I don't get yellow on the other side of the cardstock. So I'm constantly turning it over, wiping it, using it again. Okay, so we'll use this one for the next. And I think we're going to add one more piece of yellow here. If you get too much, just push it right back up onto the stencil like that. And a tiny bit up here. Don't forget to go off your edges. You don't want it to look so, you don't want this to look really precise. And we're going to do a little corner here and go off this corner with the yellow. And I think that might be just about it. Again, you want this to be a horizontal. You don't want it to be horizontal and vertical because when you look at camouflage, it's not all crossy in which way. It's all pretty much the same orientation, so to speak. If you can call camouflage colors oriented to a certain way. And maybe just a tiny little bit here. Kind of have that fade out. That can be in the background a little bit. All right, so that's my yellow. So I'm going to take the yellows and put that aside. Now the rest of the colors we're not going to put quite so much down on. So I'm just, so I don't muddy my brushes and my colors, I'm just going to wipe that off. Then I'm going to go to the Black Soot. So I'm going to overlap some of the yellow. And remember that you want some of the grayish green showing in the background because that is considered one of your colors, the negative spaces. acts as one of the camouflage colors. So that's one piece. I want a little bit more color on that one. And then another over here. Wipe it off again, and this time we want to wipe it off pretty well because I'm going to be using the green last. Of course, you could be using a paper towel on this, or you could be using a baby wipe to wash this off, and then just make sure it's nice and dry before you use your next color. But I'm just using a nice clean paper towel. And I'm going to add our last color, which is the Forest Moss. Now, if you want to see what a color looks like on your cardstock, just flip your cardstock over. And you can see the green. It doesn't just fade away into it, which is kind of important. So we're going to add our last color here, just putting it on the same way we did the other two. When you're going over the black, just go over it a few times to make sure you get good coverage on it. It won't cover the black completely, but you'll get quite a bit of coverage. That's more crispness over here. Okay, and a little here. I say laughing at myself because it's hard not to overdo it. I think that's pretty much as I'm going to do on this piece. And as you can see, all those pieces come together to make this really awesome camouflage. So that's the end of our tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed how to make camouflage with a cloud edger, but it's really quite cool and quite easy, and it's great for animal cards or hunting cards or forest cards. It's actually a really cool background to make. So thank you for watching today. I hope you will try this, and if you do, please share to the Technique Junkies Facebook group. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye now.